Welcome back everyone. This is Prashant from sipfund.com. As part of this education series for individuals, we are covering a topic taxation in debt mutual fund. And this is part of our debt mutual fund for retail investors. And today we'll talk about how the taxation in debt mutual fund compares to the taxation in fixed deposit. Now, first and foremost, there are two types of taxes that are levied for an individual. One is the income tax and second is a capital gains tax. Now, the income tax is normally on the income that is generated during the year, whether it is your salary income or wages, interest income, rental income. Now, these are all incomes that are coming to you during the year, and whatever tax you pay on it, with whatever exemptions that are applicable like ATC, ATD and all that, that's a tax which is paid annually. It's a income tax. There are various brackets for it like 5%, 10%, 20% that you may be aware. Now the second type of taxation is called capital gains taxation. Now you might have come across, if you own a piece of land and you sell it, say after 5 years, whatever taxes you pay, this is a tax on the capital gains. So it's like a capital asset. Your land was a capital asset. You bought it and you sold it. So whatever increase that has happened, that's a capital gain. Okay. So a debt mutual fund effectively falls in the second category, and therefore you will see some advantage of tax saving in a debt mutual fund compared to FD. So now let's take an example. I have tried to explain this more at a concept level rather than the actual practical happening in the market. So like for example, FD interest, when it comes, there is a TDS and you get the interest after TDS, but that I have ignored for the moment, but I have taken it as a total rate. So let's just compare how it works. So consider a scenario where you have 100. You invest in a fixed deposit of a 8% interest rate for 3 years. In 3 years time, that 100 will become 125.9. Well, why it is 25.9 and not 24? Because 8 times 3 should have been 24 and it should have been 124, because it's a compound interest calculation here. So you're looking at a 25.9% as a gain after 3 years, which works out at 8.63% compounded interest rate. How is the taxation done here? At the end of 3 years, your taxation would be 30% on the gain, which works out to 7.77. And therefore, after tax gain will work out to 18 point something, which is 18.13. The effective, therefore, income that you have earned or effective returns on the fixed deposit, therefore, is 6%. So you have lost close to 2.6% on the taxation. So now let's compare this to the investment in a debt mutual fund. You invested the same 100 in debt mutual fund and your gain is again 125.9. The value is 125.9, your gain is 25.9. However, the income tax allows you a benefit of indexation while calculating the cost of acquisition. So how does this work? On a 100 that you invested, that 100 is escalated by the inflation of the country. In this case, we have assumed 6%. So a 6% increase of the cost will be applied to first year, second year and third year, which means your cost of acquisition in this case is 119.1 and your value of the investment is 125.9, which means your taxable gain, the gain which will be taxed, is 6.8 only. Now on the long-term capital gains taxation, normally it works out at 20% if it's more than 3 years, and therefore a 20% rate is applied irrespective of your individual tax bracket, because it's a capital gains tax. So LTCG 20% is applied here. works out to 1.36 is the tax you are going to pay. That is all that is payable by you if you invest in a debt mutual fund on a like for like basis to FD. So effective rate for you will work out to 8.18%. Compare this to your fixed deposit rate, it worked out at 6%. So here you are losing only by 0.45% because of the capital gains taxation. Now the conclusion from this is that if your time horizon is say 3 years and you know for sure that you're not going to touch this money for 3 years, you should consider debt mutual fund as an option to the fixed deposit, primarily because it's going to offer you a better tax optimized return, and the effective return would not be less by 1% or 2%, maybe it's a very nominal reduction. On the fixed deposit, however, you might end up paying almost 2 to 2.5% of your returns on the tax. Now, what is the flip side? The flip side is on the debt mutual fund, the 8% fixed that what we assumed is not fixed. However, it doesn't vary like 8 will become 0. It doesn't happen like that, because your debt mutual fund is nothing but a portfolio of bonds which a fund manager is holding. The variation could be 8% could become 9%, it could become 7.5%, it could vary month on month, it could vary day to day. But if over a period of 3 years you average it out and you look at a return of say 8%, even lower than the FD, even then it will beat the fixed deposit post-tax return. Therefore, consult your advisor before you invest in debt mutual fund, and try to save something on the tax. So with that, we'll close this episode. In the next episode, we'll see what is YTM for a debt mutual fund. Thank you very much. You can subscribe to our channel by clicking the bell icon here, and you can also put questions and comments in the comment section. Thank you very much.